Just our second episode, we're going to have a lot packed in this one, involving Daniel Hemric, Stewart-Haas Racing, Lombard Bros Gaming, and Chip Ganassi Racing, and Ross Chastain. All of that covered in today's episode of The Slide Job. Cue the intro. Welcome back to another episode of The Slide Job. I'm Jonathan. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well because we have a lot to cover this episode. We'll start off on a bit of a smaller note about Daniel Hemric. Here's a direct quote from NASCAR.com about Hemric's outlook towards driving the number 8. To see the pride in the employees' eyes and how that catapulted RCR to what it is today, 50 years later, for me, that is what I'm most looking forward to, is the opportunity to add to that legacy and to do it in a number that many unbelievable drivers came before me. The key thing that I took away there was to add to that legacy. He's not talking about that he wants to live up to Junior's legacy and all that. He really just wants to be kind of his own driver, leave his own mark on the team. And I really find that interesting because you might be expecting a guy like Hemric to be like, oh, I can't wait to live up to all that Junior did before me. But no, he has a very different outlook on that. Anyways, that is pretty much the smaller story we have today because we have some bigger news about Stewart-Haas Racing. For a while now, we've been wondering what driver will fill Kurt Busch's seat that he has left vacant since leaving the 41 after 2018. Well, that announcement is looking to come early next week. People are still expecting it to be Daniel Suarez, and allegedly, Eris is expected to be somewhere in the mix. If you didn't already know, Eris sponsored Daniel Suarez throughout his Xfinity years and through 2017 and 18. So there's looking to be a bit of a sponsorship connection there, and Eris will most likely go with Daniel Suarez to the 41, presuming that he does end up there. With those two smaller stories out of the way, it's time to get into the main focuses of the episode. This first story involves a YouTuber that you probably know very well, N2SC4R, otherwise known as Joseph Lombard, which is his real name. Him and his brother Zachary run a company called Lombard Bros Gaming, and they sponsored Ryan Sieg this year. I don't know for how many races. I know they sponsored at Auto Club in Dover, and they might have done a couple other races, but anyways. They are going to be sponsoring Ryan Vargas as the primary sponsors for 6 races in the 2019 Wheelin' All-American Series. Basically, the Wheelin' All-American Series is late models, and they run one race in a track that I don't remember the name of, and the rest of them are run in Irwindale, California. At the time of me recording this, a paint scheme was not revealed for Ryan Vargas. However, I assume that will be coming a little bit longer down the line. Keep in mind that, like I said earlier, this is not Lombard Bros' Gaming first rodeo. They sponsored Ryan Sieg throughout his 2018 campaign. I think pretty soon Black Flags Matter, otherwise known as Darian Gilliam, will be releasing a video all about Ryan Vargas, so if you want to learn more, he will probably be the one qualified to tell you, because allegedly they have actually been in contact together. I did do my best to reach out to Joseph Lombard and Ryan Vargas on Twitter. Neither of them gave me a response, so I did not have any further details in that area. And now we move on to the biggest story of the episode regarding Ross Chastain. As you probably very well know, Chastain was supposed to drive the 42 car in the Xfinity Series full-time in 2019. However, recently, the FBI actually raided the headquarters and the home of the CEO of DC Solar, which was going to be Chastain's primary sponsor. And now, DC Solar cannot sponsor Chastain. I don't know all the details there. It's just a simple thing put out on Twitter by Bob Pockrass. But essentially, Ross Chastain does not have a ride for 2019. Like I said earlier, Chastain was supposed to be in the 42, but plans fell through in that area. The direct quote from Chip Ganassi Racing is, "Due to a lack of sponsorship funding, we will cease operation of the number 42 Xfinity team in 2019. So, I look at it like this. Granted, I am probably not the most objective news source, but I feel like Chip Ganassi Racing wanted to put Chastain in the seat, but was not willing to go through and look for another sponsor for Chastain, which means that now their Xfinity program will be completely shutting down. As you know, there were other drivers who were benefiting from this Xfinity program, not just Chastain. I think probably the most remarkable of which would be Justin Marks. He ran a couple of races for the 42 and even won a race for the 42, I think in 2016 at, I think it was Mid-Ohio that he won the race. So yeah, Ross Chastain, who won the Las Vegas playoff race last year, does not have a ride or maybe it wasn't a playoff race, but essentially, he does not have a ride going into the 2019 season. I think this is a clear example of NASCAR valuing sponsorship over money. I understand that you need a sponsorship to run a team like this, but I do find it a bit ridiculous that a guy like Ross Chastain, who clearly has talent, cannot find a ride because DC Solar shutting down. I don't know what this means for Kyle Larson in terms of his DC Solar partnership. I'm assuming it won't matter too much, considering that Larson has Credit One Bank and McDonald's as well as other sponsors to support him. But yeah, Chastain no longer has a ride, and the main problem with that is that there are not really any teams that are open in any series as of yet. I think that Hattori Racing has their 16 still open, so Chastain might pull a Bubba Wallace there and fall back to the Truck Series and then win a race at Michigan and do the whole thing, but you know, as of right now, it does not look like Chastain will have a ride in 2019. The interesting thing is that Eric Estep, you know him for his Out of the Groove show on Twitter, put out this probably satirical post, but it's still something that I think is worth mentioning. He essentially said that Chastain might actually be in the 41 next season. Oh wait, he won't be, because then he followed up the post by saying that it was just a joke and he was just trying to lighten the mood, and that Suarez will probably get the 41. I mean, it could still happen. You never know. Anyways, that's it for this episode of The Slide Job. I hope you enjoyed my incoherent rambling. If you want to see another incoherent rambling, in the end screen, I'll leave a link to the previous episode of The Slide Job where I went over some 2019 predictions. Don't forget, the Trackmasters Cup Series Season 2 Daytona 500 is next Saturday, January 12th. So that'll be fun, I guess. Hopefully you'll like it. I'm bad at outros, as you know. Bye-bye now.